Mr. Concepcion, you're charged with possession of a controlled substance. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Officers were dispatched to an apartment complex in Harris County, Texas, after a neighbor reported she heard an altercation in the apartment above her. When officers arrived, they observed one individual standing on a balcony yelling at someone in the courtyard. And when officers approached the defendant in the courtyard, they noticed he was extremely jittery and stuttering. The officer observed the defendant reach into his pocket and throw something on the ground. The defendant also took off an apron he was wearing and threw it on the ground. In the pocket of the apron, the officers found a Xanax pill weighing 0.5 grams.
Mr. Concepcion, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. How old are you, sir?
29.
What do you do for a living?
I'm working at the work at the
Okay. How much money do you make a month? And who do you live with?
I live with Joshua Johnson.
Who is that?
That guy in the first row right there.
Is that your dad?
No, that's just my roommate. It's like a brother.
Come up, sir.
Yeah, I think she's the person we were arguing. I was arguing with.
I talked to the judge. Oh, I don't know how to do this. What we
No, you're okay. You just.
Yeah, don't worry. You're doing great. What's going on with you?
He takes care of me. I've been having some issues at home. Here often I've been injuring my foot. And right now, while I'm healing up, he has to sometimes pick me up, sometimes like that.
You don't have to touch.
Okay. Help me get around the house. So it's hard without him being in my home. I don't feel safe without him. So, I don't know what's going on. But Your Honor, I'll explain something to you. When he's not around, the Baytown police will go around saying that they're gonna find any reason to take this man to jail. Any reason. They just look for a reason. And I get tired of hearing that. When I go out to where my girlfriend works at, have a cup of coffee, I gotta listen to this.
Okay.
He's taking care of me right now because my provider services, we're trying to get it back. So, he helps cook because I keep getting food poisoning.
So you guys live in an apartment?
Yes, and it's bad. I tell you, they could have found those on the ground and accused him of it.
I don't want to talk about the case, but whose name is the apartment under?
Mine.
Okay, are you on the lease?
I don't know,
No, not
but
yet.
the managers, they all know me and everything.
The manager's letting him be there to help me out.
Right.
Because sometimes there's some issues with me being scared a lot. But with him there, I'm safe.
So the only thing I'm going to ask you now, Mr. Concepcion, don't use any dope or alcohol. I'm going to test you. If I find that you're using alcohol and any kind of dope, I'm going to lock you up. Don't use any alcohol or dope. As long as you can do that and stay out of trouble, you'll be fine with me. If you need, I can appoint your lawyer today so you guys can figure out what to do. Do you have any open cases at this time anywhere else?
No.
Can you run an NCIC, please? Yes, okay. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to have you sign a reset with Victoria. After that, you're going to get with pretrial. You're going to sign your bond conditions, just no dope, no alcohol. And then I'm going to have you talk to.
He can't drink or anything. Because he watches me when I'm drinking. That way I don't go outside.
This is going to be a problem. Your pressure is an absolute,
Okay.
if you're drinking and you're getting loaded.
He hasn't drank in a long time.
But understand peer pressures.
Oh, I don't know anything about that. You got to explain.
If you're drinking and you're getting intoxicated, the likelihood of him wanting to partake will be very, very big. You're not listening.
Okay.
Sir, listen.
Okay.
I'm trying to talk to you.
Yes, sir.
If you were drinking, you're consuming alcoholic beverages and you're doing a lot of it, and he's there, he's going to want to do the same thing.
Yes, sir.
And it's going to create a problem.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
So be careful what you do, where you go, because you could potentially get him in trouble as well if you're doing something you shouldn't be doing,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying,
I
be
understand,
careful.
sir. I just
Okay.
never been through this process before.
All right. So let's do this. I'm going to have you sign a reset. After that, I'm going to have you take your seat in the jury box while we find your lawyer, and then we'll go from there. Okay?
Your Honor, it appears he may be on a deferred. out of the 263rd for an ag assault.
Oh yeah, I've been on it for about 2.5 years now.
Asked you if you had any open cases and you said no.
Oh, I thought you meant like a new case. No, yeah, I've been on probation for about 2.5 years. Yeah, sorry, I thought you meant like anything that's new. That's what they always ask me.
I can understand the question.
I drug test you now, what's going to show up?
Nothing.
Sending you now. I want to know what, if anything, is in your system. Yeah, you're on probation for a very serious case where you're looking at what, 2 to 20?
Yeah, this.
Stop. Yeah, it's a second-degree felony, and you're not supposed to get in trouble, and now you've picked up a new case. It's very possible now they issue a felony warrant on your behalf. You're not supposed to get in trouble. I'm sending you now for a drug test. You must come right back. If you don't take the test, if you don't come back, I'm telling you now, I'm going to revoke your PR bond. You're not going to get any more. Do you understand? Okay, so just take a seat from me momentarily. I'm going to send him for a drug test. We're going to have him come back. And then I'm going to give him a lawyer and we'll go from there. But just, everything's okay for the moment, okay? You're fine, okay? All right. I'm going to have you sign a reset and then I'm going to have you take your seat while we wait for pretrial to send you for a test, okay? Please.
Right this way. Go inside for your reset.
Very familiar to me. You know how? Maybe not. I represented a Morelli once, or a Morgan Morelli, actually with the same name. That's why. Okay. Ms. Morelli, you are charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, man. Okay.
The officer spoke with the complainant, who is the defendant's mother, and who is also I apologize. Do you want me to keep going?
Go ahead.
Okay. And
Sorry.
no problem. The officer spoke with the complainant, who is the defendant's mother, and was observed to be bleeding from her mouth and face. The complainant stated the defendant physically attacked her in the defendant's kitchen after a verbal argument about the complainant calling out the defendant for taking drugs. The complainant stated the defendant was beating the living hell out of me. The complainant stated she doesn't know exactly how many times the defendant struck her, so the defendant hit her numerous times with both hands and that she felt pain. The complainant stated they both had been drinking and had a couple margaritas, but that it was not the reason for the assault. The complainant stated she ran out of the defendant's house and back to her home, which is only a few houses down the street, to call for help. The complainant stated the defendant has a history of assaulting her.
There's a prior assault of a family member. Is that the same complaining witness? Let's see. Ma'am, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. And I'm going to tell you now, I'm going to do everything in my power to protect every single person of this county. And if that means putting you in jail, I'm going to do it in a heartbeat. Do you understand? I'm sending you now for a drug test. I want to know what, if anything, is in your system, then you're to come right back. If you fail to come back, or if you fail to take the drug test, I will revoke your bond. And I'm going to tell you now, you will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
As a condition of your bond, I'm forbidding you from having any contact with Diana Morelli whatsoever, not to consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to test you like crazy to make sure that you're not using. I'm also ordering you not to be in possession of weapons as well. I'm ordering you not to have contact with her. Can you find mom, please? Diana Morelli, please. Has a motive been granted in this case? Okay,
I just put it ready for you.
okay. So, guys, it looks like the CW is here, so.
Judge, I have all spoken with CW, and she says that her and her daughter have fixed the situation between
It
them.
doesn't, no, it's a second assault. Every time no,
Can
doesn't
I
matter.
just go confirm with the CW?
Yeah, and well, I'm
Oh,
gonna
you're
bring her
calling
in so that I
her
can
out.
talk to her as well. Are you Miss Morelli? Hi, thank you so much for coming. Would you mind coming up, please? I told her that I'm going to do everything in my power to protect every single person of Harris County, no matter who it is, who they are, what is going on. And that I would, and if that means putting them in jail and making it $100,000 bond, I will do it in a heartbeat. I'm entering now what's called a magistrate's order for emergency protection that identifies you as a protected individual. Ms. Morelli, you cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person, commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is a stalking statute. You cannot threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You cannot be in possession of a weapon or go within 200 feet of where she lives or where she works. Do you understand? This is a second assault alleged against you. The first one was dismissed. However, now I'm forbidding her from having contact with you. I've also forbidden her from consuming alcohol or illegal drugs. And I'm sending her now for a drug test because I want to know what, if anything, is in her system. I'm so much as even contemplating putting a device on her ankle so I know that she's not consuming any alcohol. She has a lot of prior violent behavior, you know, and I'm going to do everything in my power to quell it. This is the fifth, violent type of case that we have. And that's it. Historically speaking, every 2 years, there's a new case. Since 2018, stops now. Do you understand? Okay.
Am I allowed to say anything?
Well, I'd rather not. She has a lawyer, you guys can talk to the lawyer. I've got a bunch of DAs here and everything that you guys say can be used. And now's not the best time to talk about the case. The only thing I want to know, impart to you that you are now a protected individual, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure it stays like that so no one else puts their hands on you.
It's almost impossible for us to be able to follow because I'm driving back to work and the 5 houses down.
Let's do this. I'm going to have her talk to the lawyer, and then we'll figure out something to do. Well, we'll talk. For now, what I want to do is I'm going to send her for a drug test because I want to know what, if anything, is in her system. And then we'll have her come back, and hopefully by then the lawyers will be here and then we can talk. Okay? So just don't leave for now. Okay? All right. I'm going to have you sign this order for protection now, and then we'll send you on your way, and then we'll see you back in half an hour. Okay?
All right, Judge, next is the.
In the interim, you can.
I'll speak to her. Miss Morelli,
Good morning, Mr. Silva.
Good morning, Honor.
Mr. Silva, you're charged with 2 cases. Shh. Charged driving while intoxicated. You're also charged with possession of marijuana. Is the weed case getting dismissed, Mr. Isaguirre?
Yes, the POM, yes, that's right.
Okay, so it looks like as part of the plea bargain agreement, they're going to dismiss the marijuana case against you. You're pleading on the DWI. You need to understand that the DWI will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. It's even there after you die. This is important because when you get pulled over, what do you think an officer does?
You're gonna check if I'm either high or drunk.
Well, first thing, they're going to look at your record. They're going to see that you have a prior DWI. If they come up to you and smell alcohol or dope, what do you think they're going to do?
Arrest me, be back in the same situation I am today.
Right. What we're doing today, you will now forevermore be facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. Do you understand? No more proverbial slaps on the wrist from now on. It's a minimum of 30 days in jail.
Understand.
Okay. You give up a lot of rights by entering this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you are not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you can never change this. It will go on your record and it'll be there forever. Is this what you want to do? How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated? I will find you guilty. I will send you to 3 days in jail. I'll give you credit for the 1 day that you've done. I'm going to suspend your license for 90 days. Do not drive until you get a license. Good luck, sir. Thank you.
On the third charge, I was worried about that. Is a dishwasher at Mambo's and makes $1,800. And besides every, the light, water, gas, it's got a quick cash loan, Judge, that they've had him for years at the interest He has to pay 450 twice a month on that.
What?
Yeah. So.
For what?
For a loan that he borrowed some money and I was just going over this.
That's insanity.
I had got a good
What
chunk
interest
of,
rate is that? 50%?
I think they said probably 40. They told me if I pay less than the minimum or don't pay past the minimum, they increase the payment wise. Before it was like
You need to
380.
get that thing paid off, man. They're
That's what I'm
taking you
trying to
for a
do.
ride and then some. That's lunacy.
I had to fix my truck. The transmission was messing up, so I needed to borrow a good chunk of money to try to rebuild the transmission on
That's
it.
usurious.
Sorry.
That's usurious.
No, it's.
Usury.
No. It's like, what? I said,
You gotta go pay that thing off, man. If you gotta go sell the truck to go pay that thing off, that's what you gotta do.
That's what I'm thinking about because I can't drive. It's messing up on me now. So
even the court costs, Judge, we were,
It would cost you more or it cost you less to take an Uber everywhere than what you're paying for that payday loan. That's
well, at this point, I'm thinking about considering a bike to take to work, so I'm not worried about Uber. I'm not too far from my job, so it won't be too much.
if you're paying that much money, you're better off renting an apartment close to the Mambo where you work and taking a bike and sell your car to pay off that loan. That's
Bike
ludicrous.
ride to my house is like 20 minutes, 30 minutes at most. Not too far. But as of right now, I
So you
can't.
say, "Given." Okay. But I'm gonna tell you now, if you come back here with another DWI, I'm gonna tell you what he's asking me to do is he's asking me to wipe off about $3,500 worth of court costs, fines and fees to DPS that you would otherwise be paying today. When you get a DWI second, it hits around $7,500 and greater. Get ready because you come back with the DWI, it's very possible that happens. Think before you get into a car. Even if you've had half a beer, you get pulled over, it's not going to go well. Don't get into a car, even if you've had a sip of alcohol. Do you understand? We're not going to play this game again. Okay. All right. You got it. Yeah. Okay. Yay. Are you dad? Stepdad. I'm so happy you're here. This is great. I'm gonna bring him out now. And I gotta say, I'm happy that you didn't bond him out. Great. He needs to learn that it's not a joke. And I think that so far he's been taking it as a joke. So essentially what we did was I had him evaluated to see what's going on in his life, what he's doing, where he's going. It's not gone well, ninth grade education, got his GED, which is great, but it looks like it's just gone downhill. Coming up, Mr. Krumholtz.
I need them to slide it for me.
Guys, if you go that,
No, family.
no, you can't.
Come on around.
Okay, the security.
I need you this way for me. Counselor, I need you. Step this way. There you go. All right.
So the deal is this, is that the alcohol is kind of ravaged him. We have self-destructive behavior. We've got memory loss, blackouts. From what is reported, wants to stop but can't stop kind of thing. The report says and indicates that you are to do intensive outpatient treatment program followed by supportive outpatient treatment program. I want to give you the chance to do this, Mr. Krumholtz, but I want you to understand that I'm not playing games. And that's why you are now still sitting in orange. And I'm not going to play this game with you again. I will give you but one opportunity to try to do this on your own. And if you're incapable of stopping, if you're incapable of doing it on your own, then I'm going to put you into an inpatient treatment facility. It's going to happen. It's whether are you going to be able to do it on your own? If not, then we're going to do it my way. And you're not going to like the way that I do it. But it's going to happen one way or the other. And I can extend you for the next 3 years, and I'll do it in a heartbeat to make sure that you're clean and sober. Not only does he have the case with us, but he has another one in another county. I don't know. Have you spoken to Mr. Elick yet? Okay. The problem is this, is that how are you going to pay for it?
How's he gonna pay for
Hey,
it?
because while he's in custody, I can pay for things. When he's out of custody, I can't pay for it. And I'll tell you, the intensive outpatient is around $500 to $600. How are you going to pay for this, Mr. Crumple? When is the last time you've had a job?
I haven't had work in about a month, but
For him.
landscaping, like I said. Landscaping, like I said, Your Honor. And around this time is when I start doing Christmas lights. Well, my stepdad does the same thing, but I kind of learned from him, so I typically do it around this season.
There's no greater role model than a dad or a mom, really.
Think you'll be able to pick up enough business to pay for,
Yes, Your Honor.
you know, pay for this?
Do you think he'll qualify for TAP funding?
I'm not sure what he reported to the probation officer. If you do another financial affidavit and see if he qualifies for that.
Okay, we're gonna have you do an affidavit, financial affidavit, in hopes that you can qualify so that we can pay for it for you. If I can't, I want to pay for it for you. If I can, I will. That way you don't have to worry, because money is an additional stress that we don't need. I want him to have a device though. Okay, yeah, I want you to have a device so that I know that you're not consuming alcohol. If the one time you consume alcohol, you will get another warrant and you will stay with me this time. And I'm going to tell you now, the treatment facility, the program is a minimum 6 to 8 months if you respond well to treatment. If not, you could be potentially there for a year and a half in a treatment facility. Do you understand? It's going to happen one way or the other. That's it. So once he's released, must have a job within 30 days. So you have your own company, or what about?
Pressure washing, exterior cleaning. We do Christmas lights about this time.
What about Mr. Crumpholt's working?
So we don't have the work right now. I have 2 employees currently. It just wouldn't be fair to.
No, and I'm not asking you to do anything that would, okay.
But I have told David that, in fact, for example, we have 2 weeks of parking lot striping coming up next week that, you know, I would like him to be there. He's an amazing, amazing worker when his head is in the game. When the emotions, all those things get involved.
It's a great sign.
It gets a little more difficult, but.
That's the idea. You got to understand that this life is a journey, Mr. Crumpholtz. And I'm going to tell you now, how old are you? You're 22. If you don't have any money, your life really is going to suck. Really, really bad. The divorce rate is so high in this country because one reason. No one has money. And when you don't have money, what happens? You start fighting. And when you fight, what happens? And it's a cyclical process. It's over and over and over. People fight. They have no money. They have no education. They have no way of getting money. And they can't buy anything. And then they end up getting divorced. You set yourself up now and you work your ass now so that when you're in your 40s, 50s, and 60s, you have money. You can go on fabulous vacation, fabulous trips. You can buy a Jaguar, go to, a Michelin star restaurant. Landscaping, you will have a very tough life. Unless you're able to have some kind of extravagant, really kick-ass business.
I put a lot of work into it. I'm very creative and it's something I do like to do. I slacked. I haven't been doing what I was supposed to do.
It starts with one thing, a clear head. And as he said, you're an amazing worker when you have a clear head. That's all it takes. Mind over matter. That's what it's about. So I will give you this opportunity. It's the last time. I'm not going to do this again. You test positive again. You pick up a new case. I will keep you with me for a very long time. Do you guys have anything you'd like to add or state?
His name is David. Amazing. Had a big heart. My son has a big heart, and he had to go through this discipline as well. And I do believe that when David decides to honor God and surrender himself to God, there's going to be a lot of things that will happen for him. But he needs to start with him wanting to be better.
When you get out of here, where are you going?
Probably back to my grandma's house.
So that's what I'm getting at, you know? I'd like to do that, and there's a couple of things that I'd like to do. I want to give him a curfew because I don't think anything good will happen in the middle of the night. I don't want you out in the middle of the night because there's nothing good that happens at 2 a.m, and I don't want you out. I want you to stay with mom so that she knows where you're going at all times. And I want you to either faithfully work or get back into school full time. If it were me, I would have you get back into school because the more education you get, it correlates the more money you make in life. That's it. You know, in life, if something was easy, everybody would be doing it. No, it's very, very difficult to be a doctor. That's why they make so much. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Landscaping is an easy thing. That's why it's so difficult to make a lot of money in it. But if you get into school, get a great education, and you learn something that not many people know about, sky's the limit. I use this example a lot, and I know I got a lot of people waiting, but I have a friend of mine who, you know, we all made fun of because he worked at Chick-fil-A, right? But he really liked it, and he did really well at it. He started, you know, washing dishes at Chick-fil-A. He now owns 2 Chick-fil-A's, and he's making $400,000 a year, running 2 of the most successful Chick-fil-A's here in this county. Sick money he's making a year. He put his heart, put his soul into it. God, this guy's a limit. That's what's great about this country. That's what you need. And that's what's going to happen. And if not, you stay with me. You understand? So for the time being, you live with mom, you've got a curfew, job within 30 days. Let's get the TAP funding and then IOP, SOP. And then, so the other thing is that he's got the case in the other county. I don't want him traveling other than having to deal with the case in that county as well.
Which device do you want me to get, the alcohol device?
The cheapest one, probably the portable device. If you ever have any questions, if you ever have any issues, you know where to find me. I can always help you. If you see him slipping up, just let me know or let Mr. Elick know, and we'll do everything we can to help him. If you ever have any issues, call us, stop by, send me an email. I'm happy to help you in any way. We have another guy that reached out to me yesterday, is having issues, right? So email me and we're doing what we can to try to help him. So that's what it's about. You got to communicate with us and we'll help you. All right?
Okay. Your Honor, I do have a question. Will
Sure.
there be PO reporting?
Every month. Absolutely.
Testing and things like that?
Absolutely. I'm putting a device on him so I know that he's not consuming alcohol. He's going to have to blow into this device daily to prove to me he's not consuming alcohol. He's also going to have to take, you know, weekly drug tests so that we know he's not, no marijuana, no mushrooms, no, nothing. You're not, no illegal drugs. You should be clean right now. Good. The next time I test you, if you test positive for marijuana, guess what happens? Right. It's not hard. Mind over matter. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for coming. All right. Good luck. Thank you, Ms. Reyes. Hey.
Hola, buenos días, ¿qué tal? Me llamo Luis Linda. Mucho gusto.
Nice to see you.
Solo miro después y le contesta nada más
Last
en
person on the
español.
very back docket.
Mírenlo ahí, por favor.
Sirium Mateo.
Mateo, eso es.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Siri, you're not Mateo. El teléfono le está hablando al juez, ¿cómo le parece? Robot.
All right, Mr. Sirium Mateo.
Sirium Mateo.
You were charged with criminal trespass.
Domicilio.
Order in the court, please.
Sin permiso.
Come to my attention that you have now picked up 2 felony
Ya ha
offenses.
tenido 2 ofensas por delito mayor. Pide el juez Orlando.
So what happened? in those cases.
Trespass or?
No, in the felony cases.
Felony, so he's charged with fraudulent use of ID, so it says the officer was dispatched to a Wheeler Transit Center and he observed the complainant holding the defendant on the ground. He had a verbal exchange with the complainant and then spat in the complainant's face. And once the defendant was searched.
Wait, he spat in the complainant's face?
Yes, Your Honor. And then once the defendant was searched, entered into arrest, they found a bank card belonging to another complainant. And in regard to the harassment of public servant case.
Get upset getting arrested.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sí, señoría, no escuché lo que dijo la juez.
Let me see how that one's
Vamos a
split
ver
as.
cómo se declara. Mire el juez.
Is there an ICE holder?
Hay orden de detención de inmigración.
Currently, I don't see an ICE hold.
Actualmente no veo orden de detención de inmigración.
Last page on the document. Gave you a PR
Le
bond,
dimos una fianza
Zeria
personal,
Mateo.
señor Sirio.
The only thing I asked you
Una cosa que yo le
is don't get in trouble.
no se metan
You've
problemas.
now picked up 2 felony cases.
Casos por delito mayor.
As a result, I'm now going to revoke your bond and I'm going to raise it to 5,002. If you are able to bond out, you must appear here the next day.
El siguiente día, mire el juez. La cara del
Looks like your
juez.
bonds up in the felony courts are set around 15,000. You guys show an immigration detainer? You do not? Okay. So far, there's no immigration detainer and I don't know. Ernesto, the felonies are set for 11/14. You want to set them for after? Or closer to? What would you like?
I can do the 15th, Judge.
Yo puedo hacer 15.
Yeah, it's up to whatever you'd like. 11/15 would be,
19 del mes.
it's a Friday, so.
Yeah, the 19th, fine.
Okay. All right, so you know that's what's expected of you, Mr. Zerium. If you bond out, you must appear here the next day
Al siguiente día.
so we can give you bond conditions.
Para poder darle sus condiciones de fianza. Pero, okay.
Mi hermano.
Solo mire el
Oh,
juez.
Your Honor. As it's pled, so the complainant that he spit in the face of is the public servant. Yes, and then the complainant of the fraud
La
case is the
querella
one
del
that
caso
owned the
del
card that
fraude
was
es el
found
dueño
on
de
the
la
defendant.
tarjeta que se le encontró en posesión del acusado. Señor, le voy a pedir por última vez, solo mire el juez.
Esa tarjeta la encontré nomás en el
Ok,
suelo.
muy bien. Puede irse con el oficial.
Síguelo.
And yet, he has paperwork to get enrolled, but he has to pay for it. Yes.
He what?
GED, you also wanted him to get enrolled in the for his GED course.
I asked you to do 2 things, Mr. Adame. The first thing I asked you to do was, anger management classes because,
Yeah, because I have a,
don't say anything. The other thing I asked you to do was enroll into a GED or like type program because you don't have a high school diploma, do you?
no, but I'm already enrolled in Penn Foster, but I need to pay. So that's why I barely started working. So I could pay. I haven't got to pay yet. That's why.
This is really important. You can't go through life without a high school diploma. And every time you come here, I'm going to keep nailing that into your head so that at some point you get your GED or high school equivalent. You're going to get nowhere. You're going to make pennies to what other people make until at the minimum you have a high school diploma. You did an anger management class. This is great.
Okay.
Good job. I really hope that you took it to heart and you learn, because the idea is you don't want to pick up any more of these cases, and with patience, you won't. This is great work.
Thank you.
So how soon do you think you'll be able to start the G?
Probably because I still got to pay my bond, my monitor.
No, I'm paying everything for you.
No, I'm
He
paying
also
the
has a
bond.
felony court. He has conditions in felony.
You know.
I believe.
No, I have to pay for the bond.
Can I pay for the felony one too?
Can I ask you one question also?
Wait.
That money can be used for him to get the GED.
Correct.
Joe Wells is a lawyer upstairs.
Who?
Joe Wells.
Yeah, Joe Wells is the attorney upstairs. He did have to go back to court up there because he got a BVR because we changed the address down here in this court for him to stay away from and to the correct address for the complainant witness. They didn't change it upstairs. So he had to go back to court, I think last week or something, and they had to.
Have to be very careful.
Get that straightened out.
Bond is really high there. And if you violate your conditions, they're gonna revoke it, and they're gonna raise it, and they're probably gonna make it $50,000. And you'll be stuck like Chuck in jail. So you gotta be very careful. If they give you a curfew, if they give you an exclusion zone, don't do it. Don't go there and stick to the curfew. It looks like they've already given you one pass. It's probably not gonna happen again. Be careful, Mr. Adami.
Yes, sir.
It's only because they didn't have the address correction made upstairs in the felony court. We corrected it down here, but they didn't do it upstairs until they filed the BVR. And then I sent Joe Wells proof that the complainant witness was at a different address.
Do you mind letting him know that because of the cost, it's preventing him from doing?
Right. I'll send an email to Joe. Sure.
Oh, because I was gonna ask about the timing too. If I could change it, like, because I want to get another job, but
Well,
since I'm like,
the curfew is upstairs,
oh,
down here.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
Guys, do I have him on a curfew?
I don't think you did, Judge. I think you just had the exclusions on.
No, currently he's not.
The curfew is upstairs in the,
okay.
so this judge has no jurisdiction.
Oh, okay.
I can't take the curfew off. And I can't pay for it upstairs, otherwise I would too. You know?
I'll send Joe an email.
Please hold all conversations, please.
Please.
Sure.
So,
You want to resend it for about 3 weeks to come back with GED?
Oh,
do your best to get
Yes, sir.
working on your GED. I'm telling you, it's the best thing for you, right?
Thank you.
And do you want appearance required to show proof of the GED? I'll resend it for about 3 weeks.
Thanks, Carl.
Have a seat.
What, Mr. Adami?
Thank you, Judge.
I'm not gonna play this game with you again. Next time, we have conditions for a reason. Your battery died. Stop. It doesn't matter. Sorries, regrets. No. You have bond conditions, and when you fail to live up to the conditions, your bond gets revoked and you go to jail.
Yes, sir.
I'm not gonna play this game with you again. The next time the battery dies, so does your bond, and next time it's gonna go way high.
Yes,
Do
sir.
you understand?
Yes, sir.
You're charged with harboring a runaway child. This case is 657 days old. It is time to take care of it. 2 weeks, Ms. Collins?
Yes,
And then
Your Honor.
Plea or trial at the next setting. Do you have an offer on this case now?
There was a 200-day offer on this.
200 days the offer now. Get ready. At the next setting, we will either set up for trial or you must accept the offer. Do you understand? So he needs his device back on today. Waive the fee. Anything else you'd like to add, Ms. Collins?
That's it, Your Honor.
Okay, so
October 30th.
October 30th or 31st?
October 30th.
Done. Okay, see you in 2 weeks, Mr. Broser. You must get the device today.
Yes, sir.
I think his wife is trying to, I'm not sure that's important.
Come up, man. I think it's perhaps his wife, Ms. Collins. I don't know. We'll see. I'll make sure that nothing is said that. Is that your baby?
We'll stand by the baby.
That's our
Stand-
child, yes.
I just asked the other deputy to stand by the baby. Come on up real quick.
So I don't want to talk about the case. What did you want to say?
I did just want to say I was the one who bonded him out the first time around, and I was the one who bonded him out this time around. And I do want you to know, yes, I understand the bond violations and what happened, but I would not have done it if I did not trust that he was going to do the right thing this time around. He got a job, we have our baby to take care of, and he is trying to provide, he is trying to do right. And I would not have done it if I didn't trust that he was trying.
It's not hard to charge a battery, right? This battery went dead
It was
and
been
it's
charged, Judge.
been dead. So there's just no excuse. We have bond
Yes, sir.
conditions for a reason. And when you don't bond conditions, there are serious consequences. And the problem is that every time you violate bond conditions, all you're doing is you're enriching bond companies. You're giving money away that you would normally give to the baby. But
I assure you there would be no problem.
All I'm asking for is just another chance so that he can
well,
show.
he's walking out of here today. I mean, I'm not taking him into custody now. He is gonna still have the ankle monitor on now. The
Yes, sir.
case is very old and it's time to make a decision on what we need to do. So I'm going to give you guys 2 weeks. It is your responsibility to get with Ms. Collins, go through the evidence, and you guys decide what you want to do. But at the next setting, you either accept a plea bargain or get set for trial. And I'm going to tell you now, it's going to be a very fast trial. It's not going to be set to the new year. It's going to be within a month. We're going to go to trial. Do you understand? Okay, all right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Collins. And thank you for being patient.
No problem.
John D.
Somebody has a.
This is Mr. Ms.
Alan?
Washington, I'm sorry about. I said Mr.
No worries. Get the care. No worries, brother.
Oh, I ain't worried about.
This is Ms. Washington.
I just called him Mr.
Good morning.
What are we doing, Alan?
Plea for 180 days.
What is it?
Plea for 180 days.
180 days? Is there any restitution that's due and owing? Shh.
Don't believe so, not pursuant to the agreement, Your Honor.
Okay. So the cases upstairs, has anything happened on those yet or no? They're still open?
They're still open, Your Honor.
Ms. Washington, you're charged with criminal mischief. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You've worked out an agreement. They're offering you 180 days in jail with 52 days credit. You give up a lot of rights by entering this agreement. You need to understand that this charge will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. Because of your priors, you'll be facing a minimum of 90 days in jail for any other cases that you pick up. You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you can never change this or undo this. Is this what you want to do, ma'am? How do you plead to the offense? Or we'll find you guilty. I will sentence you to the agreement. Good luck, man. Okay, thanks, Alan.
Who else did you?
Hey, John.
Judge, we just have a quick plea on Mr. Luis Vallejo. Should be in front of you. May I bring him up, Judge?
Please.
Please.
Good morning, Mr. Vallejo. Good morning. Mr. Vallejo, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement. They're offering you 3 days in jail, credit for the 1 day that you've done. You need to understand that this charge will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. If you ever pull over in a car and officers want to see your prior DWI, what do you think they're going to do if they smell alcohol or dope on you? From now on, you'll be facing a minimum of 90 days in jail. So the proverbial slap on the wrist, you understand? You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. So you don't want to do a PTI. You don't want to do a PTI on this thing.
I'd like a probation. We'll talk about it. Yeah, sure.
You realize that once you plead guilty, it's going to go on your record. You can never take it off. It's there for the next, well, until you die. Even after you die, it's still there.
Sure.
This is a lifetime decision. There's no coming back. You sure?
Sure.
Okay. How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated? I will find you guilty. Are you appointed or retained? What do you do for a living, Mr. Vallejo?
Diesel mechanics. Diesel mechanics, sir.
How much money do you make a month?
My weekly, but it's about
A week?
that's because I pay child support
Oh, good. Does it come out of your check?
out of my check already.
Wonderful. That's great. Okay. All right. I have to suspend your license. I'm going to suspend it for 90 days, sir. Do not drive until you get a license. Good luck to you, sir. Thanks, guys.
The 90 days, sir? 90?
Yes, sir. I have to. That's the minimum. Don't drive until you get a license. Otherwise, you're going to be right back over here. Okay. All right. Good luck. Are you ready? You ready?
I'm here on Miss Luna, Cindy Luna. She's paid for everything. She's already signed all the paperwork for the PTI. You know, her problem is one that's that of economics. She has not yet gotten the portable device. She gets paid in 2 weeks to get it in. Cindy Luna.
9 days. Is she here?
Yes, sir.
Luna, come up. Mr. Villarreal, September 26th of this year, the mitigation packet was not submitted. We told her that we had 2 weeks or else the case would be rolled day for day. Gave another 2.5 weeks to get all that done. Then we give another 2.5 weeks and now we're back and she still doesn't have it done.
Yeah,
I mean,
she had not paid the, I think the DA's fee last time, and it's her job that she's a server at the airport. She's unlimited income. She needs about 2 weeks to be able to afford the device.
Where do you work?
Polaris Lounge,
Okay. How often do you work?
5 days.
Just Fridays?
No, 5 days. 5.
5 days. Can you not pull double shifts to get extra work?
They don't give overtime.
How much money are you making a week?
Like 800 a week.
Sorry?
800 a week
And who do you live with? Who do you live with?
by myself. I pay my bills by my own.
Gilbert, I'll give you the 2 weeks. If it's not done in 2 weeks, I'm setting it for trial. I will not take any more excuses. Your case is 209 days old. If you don't have the interlock in by the next 2 weeks, then that's it. I'm not going to give you any more time. People have to have it done by 180 days. And I'm going to tell you now, statistically speaking, the longer someone takes to get into a diversion program here, historically, the higher we see that they end up messing up and they get kicked out of the program. Here we are, 210 days, you're still not in. No more time after the 2 weeks. It will be an immediate trial setting. You understand? Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Okay.
May I
Yes.
approach?
Yeah.
Spoke to Mr. Riley, Judge, and with the permission of the court, it's okay. She'd like to submit to the UAs twice a
Okay,
week.
so she has to come here every Monday and Thursday. She'll report here.
Yeah.
She'll have to take a drug and alcohol test every, and we'll reset her. So the way we'll do it with you is we'll give you a date, 30 days out. That'll be your date. But what we'll have to do resets every Monday and Thursday for her to come and test, and then she'll come here, she'll test, and then she can go out and we'll have her sign a reset.
Yes, sir. Just two other points, Judge. This address is it's not the correct address, essentially, Judge. But I'm assuming since the court is allowing contact, that would be.
Assingham Drive?
Was that?
Assingham?
It's the same street, but it's a different number, is my understanding, Judge.
Of where mom lives?
Yes, Judge, but I'm assuming since the court is gonna allow contact, is she allowed to be at the
So
house,
what
Judge?
we'll do is we'll do no threatening or harassing,
Okay.
and then the MOA stays in place, all but for the residential restriction. So we'll take the residential restriction out, but everything else stays in.
Let's see, okay.
Ms. Morelli, come up.
The last condition, Judge, if I could, it asks Ms. Morelli to contact pretrial to determine the case status. She has counsel, Judge, so can we remove that, right?
I've never
That
seen
condition?
that, actually. You'll have to show me that, what occurs. Usually it's something where it's random testing. Why?
I have no idea.
Okay, I'm gonna take that off. I don't see why. Thank you for bringing it. I've never seen that before.
I never seen either.
It was through the magistrate, so we'll take it off. Ms. Morelli, I'm going to have you sign conditions now that you are not.
Order in the court.
You are not to have any threatening or harassing contact with your mother. What is threatening or harassing doesn't matter what you think is threatening. It's what she perceives. So if you buck up and go like this, is that threatening or harassing? It is. Spoken word, it doesn't have to be spoken word. Other conduct can violate this court order. If you violate this, I'm going to put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. If I find that you're consuming alcohol, and I don't care what it is, I don't care what the source is, isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol, a tequila lollipop, hair dye, NyQuil, I've heard it all, and it doesn't matter to me. No means no. And we'll take copious notes that I've warned you about everything, including mouthwash, Listerine, whatever it may be. If you test positive, the bond gets revoked, you go to jail. And from now on, if you test positive, I'm telling you now, I'm going to put an ankle monitor on you that tests for alcohol. And that thing costs around $400 to $500 a month. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So everything in this order for protection will stay. The only thing that we're taking off is the residential restriction. So before you leave here, I would suggest that you get to know this thing so you know what you can and can't do. Do you have any questions?
I can contact her and be around her, just nothing harassing or threatening.
No threatening, harassing, no alcohol from any source, no illegal drugs. Correct. You have a lawyer. They will take care of you. It's your responsibility to stay in touch with them. If they tell me they can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. You will not get any more PR bonds if you pick up a new case, you start acting out, anything like that. Any questions?
Just Monday and Thursday to be.
You will report here at 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll send you the test. And then after that, you'll be go. And then you can go. If we find something we shouldn't, we'll get in contact with both of you guys. Okay? If you don't show up, a warrant will issue.
Is there a time frame that it matters for those days?
9 o'clock here in the morning. Yeah, okay.
Will you
All right,
excuse,
guys.
Judge? Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge.
Oh, no weapons. I don't know if you saw it. No weapons. Okay. Able.
Guevara, Your Honor, and Gallegos, both for pleas. Guevara. Guevara?
Oh, Guevara. 3,059 days old, this case is. 3,059 old, your case, Mr. Guevara Hernandez. Tell me.
He was deported and couldn't make his court date. That's why the case is over.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Do you have another household now?
Yes, and he's being deported again.
Did he sign for voluntary departure? Do you know?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you that you need to be very careful coming back in. Because if you come back in and the federal government catches you, it's very possible they charge you with illegal reentry. And then from what I understand, that is a minimum of 5 years in federal prison. If you do things the right way, good things happen. You need to ask for permission to come into this country first. Don't just come in. Don't do that. Ask for permission first and then you come in. You are charged with driving while intoxicated and having an open container. Both of you guys have worked out agreements with your criminal cases here. Mr. Guevara Hernandez, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. And Mr. Gallegos, you were charged with terroristic threat of a family or a household member. Both of you guys are facing, well, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. And Mr. Guevara, you're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine with a minimum of 5 days in jail due to the open container. Both of you guys have worked out agreements. Mr. Gallegos, your agreement is 150 days in jail with credit for the 79 days that you've done. There is also an affirmative finding of family violence in your case. What that means is that you can never own a gun or ammunition as a result of this. If you pick up a gun, I'm sorry, if you pick up a weapon, it's very possible that they charge you with a criminal case as a result.
Sure, understood.
Mr. Guevara Hernandez, and both of you guys are giving up a lot of rights by entering into these agreements. You are giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you guys are not citizens, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You also give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you can never undo this or change this. It will go on your record. It will be there forever. Mr. Gallegos, you need to understand that because this is going on your record, from now on, you will be facing a minimum of 90 days in jail for any new cases that you pick up. Shh. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Guevara Hernandez, this charge of driving while intoxicated will go on your record. If I were you, if you ever have a sip of alcohol, sip of whiskey, sip of moonshine, bourbon, vodka, Corona, Modelo, don't get into a car. Because if you get pulled over, an officer will see the DWI. How do you think it will go?
Very best.
Right. From now on, you'll be facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated? Guilty or not guilty? I will find you guilty. I will sentence you to 15 days in jail. I will give you credit for the 6 days that you've done. I am going to suspend your license for 1 year. Well, you said he was deported, right? Okay. I'll suspend your license for 90 days. Do not drive until you get a license. It looks like you may well end up getting deported with this case again. So like I said, be careful coming back. Because if you're busted, it may not go well. Does the other gentleman have an ICE hold?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
He does have. You also have an immigration detainer as well. So if you do end up getting deported, if you want to come back to this country, do it the right way. Ask for permission first. Don't just come back.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Or how do you plead to the office? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
All right, guys. Good luck. Take care. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on. Is it true that you had the open container in your car, Mr. Guevara?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thanks. What's your name?
No, that's okay.
Do you have that picture that shows the certificates?
About something in the email.
Hi, Mr. D.
How you doing, Your Honor?
Your course is completed. You will receive an additional work certificate of
Okay, so you want to set off a week?
I don't, she said, you ordered it, went yesterday.
Yeah, I ordered, but it said it takes 7 to 10 business days for it to come in the mail.
And she didn't have the 25 to spare for the overnight.
So we'll do 10 days.
Okay.
Okay. And then after that, if we don't have it, then I'm going to do it day for day. Your case is 230 days old. It's beyond old. So if you don't have it within the next 10 days, I'm going to roll it day for day until you get it. Okay.
Approach, Your Honor.
Mr. D.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
You know what? Hold on. I told Joaquin. Joaquin.
Yes, sir.
Do you have an on docket or off docket thing?
It's off docket, Judge.
Hang tight. Let me do this plea real quick. Then I'll hit you up next.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. I am here on Mr. Jesus Salazar. Mr. Salazar, a motion for to revoke probation was filed. Subsequent to that, however, he picked up a felony offense, same complaining witness. It's my understanding from talking to him that he has agreed to accept a plea bargain in felony court. I believe I told him that I saw an offer of 2 years on the DA portal. However, he informed me that the state were willing to reduce it to a misdemeanor and offer him a year in the Harris County Jail. That's the information that he told me. You have requested that he do a TRAS, I believe, sometime back. I believe the pretrial service would be better to let you know the outcome, Judge.
Recommended matters in prevention program is monitoring on a high risk case.
And the question is, do you want to accept this plea or do you want him to continue on probation?
Ali?
23. Sir.
I'll let you go. You will learn nothing if we let you go. If we just time serve you now and let you walk on your way, you learn nothing. That's not what we do here. We want you to learn from this, Mr. Salazar, so you don't pick up another case or you don't do some catastrophic damage that you can't walk away from where you end up doing 40 years. That's not what we do here. So I'm going to hold you until you're done with your felony case, and then I'm going to extend you another year, and we're going to continue with this until you complete the Batter's Intervention Prevention Program. And once you do that, I will cut you loose. But I want you to learn something from this, and I'm not going to do this catch and release where you learn nothing. It's not going to happen. You're on probation for an assault and you pick up a felony assault. No, I will keep you until you learn something. And when you learn, that's when we will let you go. Do you understand? I'm down with the high-risk caseload. Yep, the Batter's Intervention Program. No dope, no alcohol. Was there alcohol or any kind of dope as an allegation, Alex, as far as the felony assault is concerned?
As far as the felony is concerned, yes.
Keep pressing forward.
The witness stated the defendant, his son, got drunk and argued with the complainant.
That's okay. Okay.
You will be doing now intensive outpatient treatment program. And I'm going to tell you now, when we let you out, I expect you to do the drug and alcohol treatment program. And if not, we will do an inpatient one. But I'm going to keep you until you learn something and until you stay clean and sober for a very long time. Because it appears to me that when you have a clear and clean head, good things happen. When you end up using, here we are. Right or wrong?
You're right. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what we're gonna do. I can keep you for up to 3 years, and if I need to do that, I will, just to make sure you're not using and you're learning. And if we have to do the BIP program multiple times, then we're gonna do it multiple times. It is an 18-week program that you must attend once a week for 18 weeks. And if it doesn't take the first time, we'll right back do it a second time until it takes.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
let's do it. Extend it for a year and a half, or a year, and we'll go from there. Amend it now so that felony knows what we're doing. And then perhaps, because he's been in custody for a good amount of time, so 1 year Harris County Jail, he's probably gonna be out within 30 days, I would take.
Thank you, Your Honor.
It looks like the felony court, Shatori, the felony court's not set for November 14th, so, do you want to do maybe the day after? Okay,
November 15th.
yeah, and then we'll amend it when we know specifically how much time he has left, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay, let's do that. All right, see you, 1 day after your felony.
Yes, sir.
Good luck up there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. God bless you. Have a good day.
No, sorry, 15. Okay, okay, right.
Hey,
Hey, Judge Member.
no,
Yes, Brianna Senegal, we're good. Both cases dismissed, both of them. She's here. The issue is she's got GPS. What else do you have on you? We gotta take the GPS off from home. Come up here, Brianna. So, Nathan was able to help out. We got both their cases dismissed. She's gonna be on her way. Great future ahead of her. We just need to get her GPS, removed from the house, and that's about it.
did you finish?
Yes, sir.
Good job. Are they both getting dismissed?
Yes, Judge, both are getting dismissed. My understanding is
Good.
they've already been filed.
Happy?
Yes,
I hope that you don't come back.
I won't.
I hope, really, really. hope. All right, all right, good luck. We'll take everything off now.
Thank you.
I'm gonna talk to pretrial to see how we can get that.
Just hang tight, Miss Senegal. We'll take care of you. Okay. who do
Judge,
we
this
have
is Mr., on your fugitive docket, Mr. Ruben Aguilar.
The Spanish speaker, didn't think about it, so.
I didn't think about it either. He's just waving. He's just waving.
And
here?
he,
Translate then.
I'll translate, sure.
that's why I wanted to.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that too, sorry.
Sneaky, sneaky, as I would tell my kids. Sneaky, sneaky.
Ok, yo voy a traducir para usted. Este es el juez.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Ruben Aguilar.
Buenos días, señor Ruben Aguilar.
Is this the case that I just read about?
Which one?
This is the case that I just read about that's in the news, right? Or something like that?
I hope not. I hope this isn't it.
No, I think it is. Did you know?
I'm not sure.
Let's assume it's not.
Let me, I can look at it.
So this is the case where he's wanted out of like Boise, Idaho, or Nebraska or something?
It's Idaho.
Idaho, right. And then it's the case where they filed a aggravated kidnapping and
It's
Something like that, yes, Judge.
that's one of them, yeah. Yeah.
human sex trafficking, human sex trafficking of a child, kidnapping in the first degree.
Judge, if I could translate, he said what? So, lo que está hablando el juez está diciendo, este es el caso que yo entiendo, de que yo sé, yo digo, no sé, señor juez, él supuestamente sabe de este caso que de ti, en la noticia, me imagino que te están buscando, él sabe que te están buscando por el human sex trafficking, el traficante de alguien y que supuestamente te robaste a alguien y supuestamente el juez sabe de una manera y es lo que está diciendo. Okay. Okay.
You are wanted out of the state of Idaho,
El estado de Idaho es el que te está queriendo que regreses.
specifically Ada County or Parish.
Específicamente la localidad se llama Ada. Es un condado, se llama Ada en Idaho.
You are wanted for 2 offenses.
Se quieren por 2 ofensas.
The offense of human sex trafficking of a child
El primer cargo, traficando a un menor de edad.
and kidnapping in the first degree.
Y número 2, que te robes a alguien es una felonía de grado número 1.
Sí, yo por eso mismo quiero pelear todo eso para mostrar que no fue así.
Yes, for that reason, I want to fight and go up there and just to let them know that it's not like that.
Here, we would only like to know whether you want to waive formal extradition. Oh, hold on a second.
Oh, Luis is here, fantastic. How are you? We're trying to manage, Luis.
He snuck it in.
The man, the myth, the legend.
He allegedly translated.
Hermanito, ¿qué tal? Ahora sí le llegó el español que necesita. Solo mira el juez. Y le contesta nada más en español. Me llamo Luis, el intérprete, mucho gusto.
So
No,
Luis,
mentira, solo jugando.
I've advised him that he's wanted out of Idaho.
¿Idaho?
Idaho.
¿Está siendo usted buscado por el estado de Idaho? Mire el juez, hermano.
The 2 charges are sex trafficking and kidnapping,
Trata de sexo y secuestro.
first degree.
En primer grado.
I'd like to know whether you would want to waive formal extradition or not.
¿Renunciar a extradición formal o no?
No, yo voy a pelear por todo eso para demostrar que no es de
Solo mismo es.
que
I'm
no
gonna-
es verdad.
I'm gonna
de
fight
todo
all
lo
that
que me
to
acusan.
show that, that none of that is true.
I understand.
Yo entiendo, pero escuche la pregunta.
Here, you don't fight the underlying cases for those.
esos
Sí, yo
casos, por
entiendo que
decir,
si me quieren
solo mire el
extraditar, yo
juez.
voy a ir a
¿Perdón?
pelear. Yo entiendo que si me piden para allá, yo voy a ir a pelear a donde sea
I understand that
necesario
if
para...
I'm sought by them, I'll go over there and fight it.
You have to waive
Se tiene
formal
que
extradition
renunciar a
for that to
extradición
happen.
formal para que eso ocurra, señor. ¿Renuncia a extradición formal para poder ir a pelearlo?
¿Cómo renuncia a
What do you
extradición?
mean, give up
If I may,
extradition?
Judge.
Hable con su abogado.
Eso es lo que hablamos ahí en donde si llenas este documento, esto comienza los 14 días para que ellos vengan a recibirte. Comienza el proceso, dice, ok, vengan a agarrarme los 14 días. Estás renunciando, diciendo, no estoy peleando, yo soy la persona, vengan a agarrarme.
Sí, sí, estoy de acuerdo con eso.
Yes, I'm in agreement with that.
Ok, no problema.
Pero quería asegurarme.
Sí, no problema.
So you want to waive formal
¿Usted
extradition?
quiere renunciar a extradición formal entonces para
Sí.
esperar? Yes.
All right, I see that you have also made bond
también-
on the harboring a runaway child.
Fianza por ocultar un niño en fuga.
As a result, the 14 days starts ticking
8 días
now
empiezan
for
desde-
Idaho to come get you.
Pero Idaho venga por usted, señor. El estado de Idaho.
Do you have any questions?
¿Alguna pregunta, señor?
Sí, yo tengo otra corte el día 22 de octubre, pero aún no me han asignado
Mira,
otro abogado.
I also have
Quería saber
court date
dónde
October
podía
22nd.
agarrarlo para estar preparado.
Because I haven't been assigned an attorney at work, can I obtain one so that I may be prepared?
It's a great question.
Esa es una buenísima pregunta.
It appears that you have,
Parece que usted tiene el tribunal el 22 de este mes. Solo mire pues, hermano.
at that time, you will most likely be appointed an attorney.
Abogado de oficio para que
And
lo ayude.
what I would also
Y lo que-
advise, when you do get a lawyer, advise them that you also have this case, because while you're over there, this case will still be pending.
Caso aún va a estar
And if
pendiente.
they revoke the bond here, what's happening to you here and over there will happen again.
De nuevo.
They will revoke the bond here. Harris County will place a hold on you here so that when you're done over there, you're not going to be let out. They'll have to be transferred back here. So you need to stay in contact with the lawyer that they give you here so that doesn't happen. If you don't understand, I can have Ricardo also explain to you.
Yes, I'll send an email out to the court. If for some reason he's on his way to Idaho, I will let them know. If for some reason he's on his way, I will email the court to let him know, and if not, I will let the court appointed know after the 22nd what's going on down there.
Oficio del 22 lo que está pasando ahora.
Okay, all right.
Sigue el oficial. Oh, perdón.
Oh,
Tienen que firmar ahí.
¿A dónde?
Aquí. Como puedan. No tiene que ser nada bonito.
And his reset date, my understanding is gonna be November 1st. Tienen hasta
Primero
el
de
14,
noviembre.
hasta noviembre 1 para venir a ver. Sorry, it's
It's okay,
habit.
man. Right
It's
on.
habit.
Appreciate it. I'll get you this. I'll text you this.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks, Lou. Hunter,
Hey, Judge.
how are
I
you?
have a plea for Kendra Simmons.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Simmons. Mr. Simmons, you're charged with theft, right? Just one theft case?
Yes, he has a felony case, Judge. He was on deferred on.
Are you guys connected to this case in back? Are you here for Mr. Simmons? I'm gonna look back there real quick. They're here for you. Of course.
Made his day, Your Honor.
This is not a good thing, Mr. Simmons. You know, you're on probation for a very, very serious case, and now you've picked up a theft case. When you're on probation, especially for a robbery, you gotta behave yourself. You know, when you pick up cases like this, what happens? You end up in orange, and then what happens?
CDC.
Right? Is it worked out upstairs yet?
Yes, so they included YMAC as a part of the, and they.
Wonderful.
The only conditions of this deferred is YMAC. So it's a year deferred with YMAC as a condition. So they're gonna set this.
Hey, you know what that is?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
Young man about change.
Great. Change it, because I'm gonna tell you now. You're facing a second-degree felony. When people get revoked on second degrees, usually the offers start at 10 plus in prison. It's not this 2 years, 3 years. No. When you get revoked on a robbery, it starts in the double digits. You've now been given a very, very humongous gift. They're not going to do this again. You understand? So whoever you're hanging out with, whatever you're doing, do the opposite, because what you're doing now, it's not working. You're lucky. Take this chance to do something right in your life, because it's not going to happen many times. Looks like you've got a loving family here that's for you, man. Needs to stay with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Take care of him, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right, so what are we doing here?
Just 1 year deferred with YMAC as a condition.
Okay, I'm down with that as well. Where was the theft from? Walmart?
It was a store. It was close from a store. Just needs, it was like $130. Closed backpack.
What you need to understand, that the type of probation that you're entering into, it's called, what is it? It's a damn Dollar General? Man, everything there is $1. Come on. You need to understand that when you get on the deferred, you give up nearly every right known to man, authorizing any judge that you get into this deferred with, that when you revoke it, if you get revoked, you allow the judge to give you the full range of punishment. In that case upstairs, if you get revoked on the deferred, they can put you in jail up to 20 years in prison. Throw away the key, and there's no one anybody can do. You understand? Here with me, you're facing up to 180 days in jail, up to 6 months in jail. All I want are two things. Well, actually, I'm going to do three things. No drugs, no alcohol, and I want them tested like crazy. No going back to any Dollar General, and YMAC is a condition as well. You give up. Let me ask you this. Did you graduate from high school?
No, sir.
That's what we're also going to work on now. You need to graduate from high school at the minimum. Get your high school diploma, because when you don't have that, you will make nothing in this life. Life is a journey. It can be a great journey, or it can be a rotten, miserable, where you have no money, begging on the street just to be able to get something to eat. If you don't have an education, you go nowhere in life. That's what you need to do. And I'm going to keep you with me at a minimum until you get your high school diploma. And if I have to continue to revoke you and put you in to show you that we mean business, I will do it in a heartbeat. Do you understand, Mr. Simmons? Your first and foremost obligation with me is to get a high school diploma. And I'm going to bring you back until it happens. So that's number one on the top of the list. All right. You're giving up a lot of rights by entering this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront, cross-examine your accusers. If you are not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Like I said, if you violate this agreement, I'm going to issue a warrant for your arrest. I'm going to put you in jail. We are only going to talk about if you violated this probation. And if you did, you're looking at 180 days. And I'm going to tell you now, I can extend you for up to 3 years, and I will do it until you get your high school diploma. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
No weapons as well. All right. How do you plead to the offense of theft? I'm not going to find you guilty. I will withhold that. I will make you a deal. The minute you get your high school diploma, I'll take you off as a reward. If you do well, you get your high school diploma or GED, I'll take you off. If you do well, I'll reward you. The best reward is to get off early. All right.
Sir.
I'm going to waive all your fines and fees, so you won't be responsible for anything. Good luck. Thanks, Tom. Thanks. I have here that you make $7,000 a month.
Oh, no, that's you asked for the monthly income? That's
Yeah.
2,000 a month.
Okay, but who else makes 5,000? And who else is in the home? I don't know if I can appoint you guys a lawyer. It's too much money. You know, you have to be poverty level. If you guys are making 7,000 amongst you, I can't appoint. Well, I get it, but you guys are still making a combined seven. It's based on household income. And if you're making $7,000 a month between you guys, I can't. Let's do this. Go talk to your mom, look around, and then if you still have problems, come back and then we can talk about it. Okay? All right. I'm going to have you sign a reset with Victoria, and then we'll get you out of here. Okay? Did you sign conditions yet? This is what it, it's a weak case. I didn't put any conditions. Okay. We'll just have you sign a reset and we'll get you on your way. Okay? Good luck. That way. Ready?
All right, Judge, Mr. Kareem
Please
Williams.
hold all conversations.
Good morning, Mr. Williams.
Good morning.
How's jail? You got another case now.
Say it again?
You have a new case now.
Yes.
We filed a fugitive case against you. I don't know anything about it. All I know is that you have an open DWI with us. You have a prior fugitive case, and now it's another fugitive case.
They were both at the same time. Oh, yes, sir.
Let's find out. I don't know. Tell me.
So Judge Fletcher, he's wanted out of Beauregard Parish, Louisiana for home improvement fraud. At this time, the state's asking for no bond, based on the fact that he has a prior fugitive case, which he was granted 2 bonds on, and both were revoked. They were $25K and $65K.
We gave him a $65K bond and he made it and it got revoked?
It was dismissed. The case was dismissed by Louisiana. The DA didn't even take the charges.
We did file dismissal on that.
Yeah,
For whatever reason it was.
The whole time, that's why, because you guys asked me to report whenever it was dismissed. And we just went I had an attorney out there. I gave him my attorney's number. She fought back and forth, and then the DA didn't even accept the charges. That's why it was dismissed.
Judge, I would argue that shouldn't be considered against him if that's the case.
He still has a prior fugitive case, right? I mean,
Well, just talking about this one, he's saying he had no knowledge of the filing of this case. This is called a home improvement fraud. It sounds like from talking to him, this is leaning, my argument would be this is leaning more towards a civil matter than a criminal matter. He works as a construction builder. He has his own company, my understanding. He is on the minority builders list for Harris County. And so he's got a company. It
So
sounds like this might be.
cases where a guy takes money to build a house or make improvements and then they boom, just take off?
No, what happened was it was a licensing. Oh, I'm sorry.
It was a licensing. He's talking about a licensing issue. I don't want to get into the specific facts of that, Judge, but on these construction projects, there's always 100 lawsuits that could pop up, and some of those can turn criminal. And so he is looking for an opportunity to fight that over there. He's got a lawyer by the name of Jeanette in Louisiana that's going to help him resolve that situation. His DWI here is being resolved by Mr. David Brazil. All we ask is for him to be able to post a bond so he can go figure out Louisiana, turn himself in or post a bond out there and resolve the case instead of having to wait for Louisiana to come get him.
Judge Fletcher, just based on his warrants that were issued on the DWI case local here in this court, and then the 2 warrants issued for his last fugitive case, and then further criminal history out of East Baton Rouge, Louisiana, for like looting, burglary,
Oh, no, that's not me.
property, damage to property, possession of stolen property, MJ felony,
That's
theft,
not me.
military instrument abuse, battery, child endangerment.
Judge.
That's not me.
Are we sure we're talking about the right Kareem Williams?
Kareem Williams.
That is what Mr. Stan Clark told me. I can double check.
Yeah, that is definitely not me.
There's 2 Williams.
Regardless, I'm gonna tell you that the first time I gave you a bond here, I tell you the same thing I tell every single person, that I give you one opportunity. When you pick up multiple fugitive cases, I'm not going to continue to give you bonds on multiple fugitive
I
cases.
really didn't know about this one, Judge. It's not a court
I gave
issue that I win.
you the first time I tell you, look, I'm gonna give you a bond now. If you get another case in the future, it's not gonna happen. We don't continue to give bonds on multiple fugitive cases.
It's a warrant that I never received. It's an original warrant that I never knew nothing
How
about.
do I know that?
Judge, if I may, those previous fugitive cases that we're talking about, are those here in Harris County? Because I didn't see anything pop up here for Harris
No.
County on that. So you've never given him an opportunity. He's never messed up in your court,
I
correct?
see 2 prior fugitive cases, and she's telling me that I gave him 2 different bonds on the fugitive cases.
She was talking about the DWI.
Well, no, he's had bonds on the DWI, those were revoked, and then he had a prior fugitive case that was filed in 2019 where he was granted 2 bonds, and those were also revoked
But is that here in Harris County or is that?
in Harris County.
Ah,
The parish,
And
okay.
he's on the lam for the DWI, right? Did he have a warrant for his arrest on the DWI when he got picked up on this case?
let me see, I believe I saw.
No,
There was a warrant issued on July 31st of 2019 for your DWI.
Did he ever post bond on that and get out? Or was it in warrant status the whole time and we just picked him up on this one?
And the other charge that you said, that's not me.
I'm gonna delve into what the other stuff she's talking about.
I came in.
You came in
I
yourself?
came in myself to pay, to post the bond.
On the DWI?
Correct.
Judge, my client's telling me he came in himself to resolve this issue on the DWI. It wasn't picked up, is what he's conveying to me.
Looks like the DWI was from 2019. Jeff Ludwig was the lawyer on it and filed a motion to withdraw, and the case has been open since that time.
And here's the problem, Judge. I don't want to speak too much about that DWI case, but because my understanding is David Brazil is an attorney who's handling that case. And so I don't want to jump in and talk too much about something that somebody else is handling.
Anyone
You
on
don't
it?
have a David Brazil?
I just retained Mr. David on Tuesday.
No, the last thing I have on that is a motion to withdraw filed by Jeff Ludwig in 2019. Nothing has happened since that time.
Okay.
So,
Since 19? You're saying?
I mean,
Yeah.
look.
No, I get you. I just thought he had somebody ready to go on that. Okay. Would you consider a bond? Would you consider putting some skin in the game and he knows he's gonna lose it if he doesn't?
He was on the land for this DWI. You're a flight risk. You were on bond for this DWI since 2019. You took off. We haven't seen you since 2019. And the only reason we have you here now is because you have a home improvement fraud case from Louisiana.
I came in to pay for my DWI, Your Honor.
When?
That's why I'm here.
Oh.
I'm not making.
That's why you're here now.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm really not, but I'm just asking just to be able to go take care of this. Like, I really do. I'm trying my hardest. You know, I just lost both, I lost both of my parents. When I got in that DWI at 19, my grandma had just died in a house fire. It's not an excuse. It's not.
Specifics.
Oh, yes. So,
Judge,
I'm just-
any amount that you would consider would afford him an opportunity to do so. He would know the risk, and it would be a risk that would guarantee that he does what he's supposed to do.
And would not do the same mistake again.
Had your DWI open since 2019, and you've been out with a warrant for your arrest since 2019. The only reason you're here with me now is because you picked up a felony out of Louisiana.
That's
that
all
you
you want.
haven't make bond. So I think you are a flight risk. If I give you a bond, you will take off on me because I gave you a bond in the DWI, and the last time I saw you was in 2019.
Just my parents that died going, I'm not making.
And I'm really sorry for your parents.
Give me another chance. I'm not.
But, huh?
If you give me a chance, I'm not gonna mess this up.
I gave you a chance. I've given you 2 chances. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Right.
Here's what I'll do, Judge. I was just appointed on this case today. There has been some criminal history thrown out that I was completely unaware of. Let me do my homework on this and reapproach with a better argument.
Can we
after a couple
appoint
days.
Ricardo in the DWI as well?
It's in another court.
It's here.
No, it's here.
It's here.
I thought I saw court two.
No, it's with us.
Court 5. My concern was, he told me there was another lawyer already on it. Yeah, Green Williams.
Oh, it is something.
And so I just asked for a short reset to make a better
As
argument.
long
for
as you
him.
want.
Okay.
So here's the deal now. You have 2 different options. You can either waive extradition.
He's already done so, Judge, is my understanding, yesterday. This clock has started.
Okay, yes, but I'm gonna say this, though. If they gave him a PR bond on this, ixnay on the PR bond A.
On the DDoT?
Yeah.
You're gonna do something on the DDoT?
It's been open for 4 years and he's been on the land for 4 years.
So am I getting, I don't want to argue on that one until I'm appointed.
I'm gonna reach out to them, so can you please? You are, okay.
You don't have anybody else on?
So let's do this. I'll have you guys going back, talk about it, but I can't in good conscience give him a PR bond again. When we did that and he took off for 4 years, no, it doesn't work like that.
Understood. I'll talk to him.
No catch and release.
Okay.
Okay?
Let me talk to him. All right, Mr. Williams.
Just please don't send him down.
Yeah, let me talk to him.
All right.
Mr. Williams is out. Okay.
I've signed Senegal's dismissal so that she can go.
She's on her way over there to get the GPS
Okay, okay.
appointment set up right now as
Okay,
we
so
speak.
Ramon Sanchez, you said?
Well, we brought out Mr. Williams first. I guess we can speak about Mr. Williams. It's a DWI case as well in this court,
There's a motion on the local.
on the local DWI.
What do you want to do?
So this is the one where you were talking about.
Yeah.
Would you consider a $1,000 bond?
No, it's at 2,500, man.
Is it at 2,500?
2,500.
But it was a pretrial bond. You didn't
Yeah,
have-
I'm
you
just,
didn't-
okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm no PR bond,
Okay,
and I'll leave it as is at the 2,502,
okay.
and that's it.
Yeah, that'll work. Okay, let's do that. I'll leave it at, you're gonna have to pay a bond, but it's.
If your
gonna be
bond is at
2,500.
2,500, I can't in good conscience give you a PR bond when you've taken off for 4 years. We gave you a PR bond, you've been gone for 4 years, and you have a fugitive.
02 on the DWI. Once you post that, your clock starts on the 14 days. So he's providing you a bond. I think it's good. We'll take it, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Appreciate it. All right.